Hello guys, my name is Annette and the channel is dedicated to all the things I love and care about. And today's video is all about the ninth house in astrology. What did you say? What is that? That's the ninth house in astrology. Ninth house? What? Ninth house. It's the ninth house in astrology. Woo! Alright, sorry guys. Not that I might have a special place in my heart for the ninth house in astrology. Anyways, the ninth house in astrology is all about higher learning, philosophy, foreign travel, just traveling in general. Lots and lots of pilots, flight attendants, travel agents, and travel bloggers are seen from this beautiful house. Just a beautiful house. I could very possibly might be just a little bit biased because, as you guys know, I'm a flight attendant myself. I don't know how long I'll be a flight attendant, if I'll be a flight attendant for much longer, but I mean, we'll go ahead and leave that for a different video. But I am currently still a flight attendant, and I have been doing that for about 6 years now. And even before that, I always used to love traveling. And I mean, even now that I had to take some time off for medical reasons, a true gypsy, you guys, a true gypsy cannot stay still for long, I tell you. And gypsies are seen from this very much so beautiful house. Say it with me, beautiful house, just beautiful. So this house isn't just about traveling or higher learning, but also about it's a very religious house actually. Philosophy, spirituality. Oftentimes people say that the 12th house is about spirituality and whatnot, but I actually believe it's this house because I've actually done quite a bit of research in this house as well. A lot of people that I've met around the world that are interested and just the different religions and the different beliefs in people have quite literally very strong ninth house placements. So people with very strong ninth house placements will be very interested in just really knowing why are we here and what is the meaning of life, and following your joy and following your happiness, and just have a very strong curiosity in them to know what this life is all about and figuring out what works best for them, and really going through these like very extensive journeys to figure out what works best for them and what's the most genuine and honesty for them when it comes to these matters. You know, am I Christian? Am I Catholic? Do I just want to make my own religion and just put a little bit of everything that I believe into this one big box and follow that? Do I want to see how people who practice Buddhism live? Does that mean I want to go over there and travel and quite literally see what people that follow this religion look like and what traditions they have? Or am I fine with just picking up a book and reading about Buddhism and Judaism, or just different types of religions around the world? You know, people that have lots of planets here this is what they're interested about. They're philosophers, man. They're philosophers, they're spiritual people, and depending on what placements you might have here, you're going to consider yourself to be very religious or very not religious, but because you're more so like you bounce at the sound of your music, you know? It's very like black and white, quite literally. Like either people are super religious or they're super like, I'm just very spiritual and I just make my own religion and I just believe what I want to believe and that's it. You know, like it's this, or I go by the book and like the Bible is my everything. That's the kind of people I've met with these with people that have very strong placements in this house. But at the end of the day, I think more so than anything, I think this house is about following your happiness and following your joy and really figuring out what that is for you, you know? I think truly at the gist of it, that's what this house is about. It's about people really trying to be true to themselves as much as they can and following what inspires them and going as far as you possibly can with this. Also, of course, if you have your Jupiter here or your moon or your sun or Mercury, even your Venus here, you're going to naturally want to travel. You're going to be interested in going to foreign places. Versus the exact opposite is if you don't have any planets here and you have way more interactions or way more aspects to the third house, you could be quite literally the opposite, which is, I don't like airplanes. I'm not going to go to foreign lands. I'm not going to travel to different countries unless it's like an emergency or I'm forced to. For the third house is more so like road trips and short distance travel and people that don't like airplanes, if I'm being quite honest with you, because I've met lots of these people. And the ninth house is the opposite. It's the people it's the gypsy people of the world. And not everyone that has planets here is a gypsy, so that's not what I'm saying. But it's the people that like to travel, and travel bloggers are seen from this house. And travel agents back in the day, because you know, travel agents is kind of something that's becoming a thing of tomorrow. But also more so than anything, it's about also higher learning and higher thinking. Versus the third house is about very practical. How do I build a bed set? How do I build a frame? How do I build a closet, a chair, a table, like with my hands? How do I do this food recipe? You follow the instructions, right? You put like a little cup of milk, 2 spoons of sugar, whatever it might be. The ninth house is opposite. It's very abstract thinking. One of my very good friends, he's actually, he's a teacher right now, but he's going for his PhD. And Lord and behold, his favorite kind of reading is very abstract. He literally wants to teach his students and anyone he comes across about literature and how you can find the answers to life in literature. Reading literature, that's it. That's literally what he's so immensely passionate about. And that describes the ninth house quite well, because even if you're not interested in literature, you're going to be interested and the ins and outs about life and trying to figure out why we're here and what does this all mean. And that's very different kind of thinking, but very higher thinking at the same time, you know? Is there life after death? Do you believe in reincarnation? Do you not believe in reincarnation? Heaven and hell, like, it's about very, I would say, intense topics, you know, very like individualistic, to each their own kind of sort of topics, you know, and people that have a lot of placements here can also want to go to school and get their master's, their bachelor's, their PhD, several degrees under their belt, so they can have these things to sort of back them up, and so they can spread their word on what they believe is the truth, you know. Pardon me, I got too excited about this house. My voice is going away. But yeah, so people in this house might want to pursue higher learning in order to kind of sort of be able to back up their ideas and back up their beliefs. This house is a lot about beliefs and what people believe to be their truth, and people wanting to hear about other people's truth, kind of sort of mesh and make their own truth, you know, figure out what their own truth is, for lack of a better word. And whether people with a lot of placements in this house, whether they have a lot of degrees under their belt or not, woo, pardon me, it is very just abstract and literature-based thinking. Also, things that I've noticed about this house is lots of pilots and flight attendants and people that like to go to workshops and seminars and retreats have strong placements here. And I know this myself because I have gone to so many workshops, and I've gone to a couple of retreats, definitely. I wouldn't say I've gone to lots and lots of retreats, but I definitely have gone to some of them. And people that I've met there, ironically enough, because I've always been a bit of an astrology junkie, I start asking their data, their astrology information, and they have, Lord and behold, they have a bunch of planets in the ninth house. That's one thing I've really noticed. So pilgrimages are seen from this house, quite literal. And people wanting to, it's like when you have your sun here or when you have your Jupiter here, you want to travel because for meaningful reasons, for retreat, for a pilgrimage, for something that is either religiously or spiritually meaningful to you. Or even if you have your moon here, it's the same occurrence that I've noticed. And that's what house is all about. I think it's just such a beautiful house because it's about figuring out what's true for you and finding the meaning of life, whatever that meaning is to you, and sharing those ideas with others, and going to the most, traveling to every corner of the world, or traveling to the most furthest corner of the world, and figuring these answers to life, and figuring out what happiness is for you, and figuring out what your inspiration truly is, and then taking that as far as you can. I feel like this house is all about the things that life really should be about, because life, I feel like in general, we should be here in life to enjoy it and have the most fun ever, and like enjoy the sheer fact of being alive and having like blood running through our veins, and it's like beating heart. Like, let's enjoy life. Like, let's go out and play out in the grass if that's what you're into, or go for a swim, or play a freaking board game of Monopoly, or life, no pun intended. Board game life. Hello? Does anyone even play that anymore? Well, I do. But anyways, whatever it is that makes you happy, I feel like this is what this house is about. Maybe just or finding that dream job, you know? Anyways, so that's what the ninth house is all about. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you agree, disagree, you know what to do. And if you'd like to get a reading by yours truly, I'll put the information down in the description box. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.